Brian Kenny back here with you on MLB Now, and there is Atlanta. That's a good series starting tonight. A battle of first-place clubs, Tigers and Braves, a little after 7:15 Eastern time. Casey Mize against Martin Perez. Let's talk Tigers baseball. Front Office Insights presented by Sage. Tigers President of Baseball Operations, Scott Harris, joins us now. Scott, it's Brian Kenny. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
Scott, we have breaking news. I'm just wondering, again, from your position, you're a president of the ball club. Phillies firing a manager. We saw Alex Cora of the Red Sox fired over the weekend. 12 new managers since the start of last year. What do you make of the dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on those clubs, but I can comment, in April, I focus way more on how we're playing than our results. Like, listen, I know we get judged based on our actual results. And when we add them up at the end of the year, that's how we're going to be judged. But in April, it's really important for me to evaluate how we're playing. Fortunately, I think we're in a position with a manager like AJ Hinch where we know we're going to be prepared for every game. We know we are going to put our players in the best possible position to execute and help us win. And that's what I pay attention to way more right now than, necessarily where our record is or where we stack up against other teams. I just want to make sure that we're executing in all phases of the game. And That's where I spend my time and energy now.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point. I know when I've spoken to you, it's clear there's so many people up and down the chain, right? In baseball ops, you've talked about coaching and maximizing performance. It feels 1970s that the manager gets axed. I don't know. That's my feeling on it. Like, what's the role of the manager in the modern game?
The manager is hugely important to our success. AJ is, one of the main reasons why we've been so successful the past couple of years, why we've won playoff series in each of the last 2 years. I don't necessarily think that the manager role has been marginalized at all over the last handful of years. I think as the size and complexity of these operations continue to grow year over year, I think having the right guy in the chair and having him, in a position to put all the pieces together and put our players in a position to succeed has been as important as it ever has in the game. So I don't really subscribe to the notion that the manager has been marginalized or that, he's any less important than he's always been.
Yeah, I didn't say that, by the way. Like, I think he's kind of scapegoated. He's the guy that's out there out front. He's the guy that can get axed. Along the lines of, like, the long view, what did you learn from last year? After you were riding high, you plummeted, you bounced back to win a playoff series. What's your overall view? What was learned there? What do you see?
Yeah, when I look at our group right now, I think we're still, one of the 6 or 7 youngest position playing groups in baseball right now. But I think their birth certificates sort of belie their actual experience. This group has learned through experience how to manage the highs and lows that our game has to offer. I think nothing is permanent in our sport. Every slump is temporary. Every hot streak is temporary. And having this group go through all the ups and downs of the last couple of years has led to, additional mental toughness and resilience that I think makes us dangerous this year. This group has seen what it takes to dig themselves out of really difficult situations like September or the first half of 24. And the ability to reset, as long as you come to the park the next morning ready to work and ready to prepare, it doesn't really matter what happened the night before. And I think our group has learned that. And I've already seen signs that they're able to turn the page and overcome some early adversity this season. It's a really good sign for a young and talented clubhouse.
All right, fair enough. Casey Mize starts for you. I mean, tonight, that's a 1-1, obviously, but it took a while. Now he's got a 2.51 ERA. His strikeout rate, which we're showing there on the far right, has gone up. What has your pitching group done to help this along with Casey Mize?
Yeah, Casey's missing more bats in the zone, I think, than he ever has in his career. It's a credit to all the work that he continues to put in, in the offseason and during spring training and between every start. His growth and maturity on this staff has been a huge reason why pitching remains a strength for us and why we think, pitching is going to become a key part of our identity this year as it has been in previous years. So Casey's ability to miss bats in the zone, his ability to land both secondary pitches in the zone in any count is really important to his ability to use the whole zone to miss bats in every location, to keep hitters on their heels and force to cover every shape in every zone.
We watched Kevin McGonigle. I brought him up during the break. He's so fantastic, this kid. It amazes me. Again, I'm not, following the draft pick by pick, but he goes 37th in the 2023 draft. It's hard to imagine. Slightly low for a superstar kid who leads the league in WAR now. What did your club see in Kevin McGonigle at the time that, is now paying off?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin is enormously talented. We recognize that in the draft. We were really aggressive and paid him a well over slot bonus in the draft to buy him out of college because we had a lot of belief in him, both the player and the person. I think, specifically his at-bat quality, his command of the strike zone, his ability to identify and make adjustments quickly, and his determination to be great on both sides of the ball are just a few of the skills and traits that make him a potentially really special player. That was all evident in the draft. And then when you sit down and you talk to the kid and you understand how he's wired and how he approaches the game, I think it's a really easy bet for our organization to make on him. I think we were aggressive in the draft, trying to get him here, and then we were also aggressive early in his career, trying to keep him here as long as we could because he's a really important part of what we're doing, and we really want to build around him.
You locked him up fast. I mean, look, like from the first AB, it was like, whoa, look at this kid. I have to ask you about Tarik Skubal. Contract year, you have the number one guy, in the league on your staff. What's the approach? What are your thoughts?
The approach is to win. This organization is all about winning, and Tarik is a big part of our ability to win here. Having him go every 5 days really sets the tone for our team. And if we want to climb the whole mountain, if we want to win the World Series, I think it's really important that he's performing at a really high level, and he is. He's also setting a really powerful example for all the other pitchers on our staff. And so we're focused on the here and now. We're focused on winning this year, and we feel like we have a great chance to win every time he's on the bump.
Okay, fair enough. The strike zone challenge. Your catchers, by the way, we have Alex Avila here who claims he'd be excellent at this. I'm words in his mouth. I know he would be excellent. Your catchers are excellent at this. Dylan Dingler, 13 for 15. Your catchers are 18 for 21. You're not challenging as often as other clubs out there. What are your overall thoughts, and why are you so good at it?
Yeah, I mean, we set out to dominate the strike zone on both sides of the ball. It's a key pillar for this organization. Now, with the new rules, this is a new dimension for us to try to dominate the strike zone. I think there are two key pieces. One, both our catchers understand the strike zone. They know the strike zone. They're confident in their judgments in the strike zone. The other thing is I think both of them are elite framers, and not only are they good at challenging pitches, they're good at pushing the pressure to the other side. So, there are some calls that we are getting that are actually out of the strike zone because these guys are really good framers, and it forces the opposing team to evaluate whether to challenge and to potentially burn a challenge as a result of this stuff. So, I think the rate is really high, but also I think the invisible benefit of these catchers is that they don't have to challenge as much as most other catchers because they are so good at grabbing strikes outside of the strike zone and putting pressure on the other team.
Okay, that's interesting too. One last thing, by the way, Alex Avila controlled the strike zone. It did not chase. Never. That's a fact. I give him a hard time. He did not chase. Whether he'd be good at this or not, I don't know. But he didn't chase. Max Clark slashing nicely in AAA. What are your thoughts on bringing him up?
Yeah, I mean, we're not ready to bring him up right now. He's a really important part of our future. We took him, first in my first draft, and then we took Kevin right behind him. And those remain two really important pieces for us moving forward. I think with Max, it's fun to see him off to a really good start in AAA. Max's ceiling is one that can put pressure on the opposing team in all phases of the game. He's certainly performing well offensively. That's a really big part. I think he's going to hit for more power as he gets more comfortable with his swing and his strike zone decision making. We also want to see him, continue to develop the other areas of his game. He can be an elite center fielder. We're really focused on his jumps and his reads and getting off the ball quickly in center field. And we also think he can put a lot of pressure on the opposing team on the bases. So he's stolen a lot of bases so far in AAA. We think there's more that he can grab there. And we're trying to stay focused on his leads, his fundamentals, and his ability to read different types of pitchers and get a good jump that can help us, continue to apply pressure. Because I think that is a dimension of the game that we haven't really leaned on yet. But once, Max and some of these other players get up here, that's going to be another way that we can, help the Tigers win games. So we're focused on all those fundamentals in all phases of the game with Max. He's progressing really nicely, and we think he's going to really help us.
By the way, great specific stuff. I'd love to hear, the fans love to hear that. This year, are we thinking this year, though? I'm sorry, if you said it, I missed it, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a really good chance that he ends up helping us, but it's premature to actually forecast when that's going to happen. We just want to stay him focused, keep
Right.
him focused where his feet are, and that's in Toledo right now. And he's done a great job so far. We gotta keep getting better before we can have that conversation.
Okay. No, I don't think you're being evasive. I think you were giving me specific stuff that he's working on, he's dealing with, and that's great to know. It's just nice to see he's having success. And again, you've got the prized kid in the league right now, and McGonigle is just fantastic. Scott, thanks for joining us today. I know we had to ask you a bunch of things about managers and that, but we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.